Hey everyone, good morning. Welcome back to my channel and welcome to part 2 of my DIY platform bed build series. Again, trying to keep it for under 100 bucks. Might be a little bit tough. I think I might have to go buy one more sheet of 4x8 cladding, but we'll get there. I'll do as best as I can. I'm going to try to make part 2 and 3 a little bit different, guys. I'm going to try to cut out all the fluff, all the talking, all the BS that is really not important, and just show you guys the build. So I'm going to really work on not making this video too long and just showing you guys the important stuff that you want to see, why you came here to watch it, and I'll do some voiceovers if needed for the important things and give you a little detail of what I'm doing during the time lapse. So guys, with that, I'm going to hold to my word and cut to this and get started on build 2. Take care. Okay, so these next few minutes are just me showing you me measuring out the openings to install this cladding that I got. Pretty simple process, leaving myself about a 1/16 of an inch on each side just to have a little bit of wiggle room. And here is the 4x8 cladding that I bought. I think it's going to look pretty good once it's painted, and I'm just using my track saw to cut the height and then take it over to the table saw to cut the final width. So now that the cladding has been cut to final size and dry fit just to make sure everything fits well, just put a small bead of glue around the edges of that rabbet and installing with some wood glue and some 21 gauge pin nails all around the sides and the top and bottom. And that's going to hold it pretty good. Those pin nails are essentially just acting as clamps while that glue sets up. But I'm not worried about that not holding at all. So this is the same process for the two sides and the footboard. All right, guys, so I haven't really talked about the headboard yet, but I'll go ahead and do a quick time lapse of me constructing it. It's going to be simple dominoes just for alignment and pocket screws to clamp everything together. But I've got the two posts, the two side pieces that are going to create the height of the headboard milled out. I've got the top here. I've got the bottom piece that's going to go obviously the top and the bottom of the headboard, and then I've got my vertical spacers already cut. So I'm going to lay out all the domino holes. I'm going to cut the dominoes, put it in my Craig jig, get some Craig pocket holes drilled out, and then I'm going to put it together, and we will get this thing painted. Okay, so the method that I'm using here for the headboard is the exact same that I did for the sides and the footboard. I am using 8x15mm dominoes and pocket screws to basically act as clamps for the glue. This vacuum attachment that I have hooked up to my Craig jig that hooks directly up to my Festool hose was a pretty good find that I located on Etsy. Looked far and low for one of these things, and Etsy came through, and this thing's worked great. So now that all the pocket holes and domino holes are milled out, here I am doing the glue up, and I'm not gonna lie to anyone here, the glue up was a little bit trickier than I was anticipating, getting everything squared, but in the end it came out pretty good. I'm pretty happy with the results, but it took a little longer and a little more muscle than I was anticipating getting this thing to work, so there you go. So this is why I decided to use pocket screws and dominoes, is because the pocket screws actually act as clamps and they pull everything in tight together, unlike the dominoes. And here we are with some more gluing of the cladding. And again, I'm just using 21 gauge pin nails and the glue to keep this cladding attached to the headboard. Okay, so this is going to be the top trim pieces for the headboard, and I'm just using about a 35-degree angle here and attaching. This is a 2x4 that I cut down with the angle, and on top of that's going to be a 2x6 just to give the top of the headboard a little more girth to it. All right, everyone, so that pretty much wraps up the overall build process of this thing. Let me walk you through how this bed gets put together. I utilize dominoes and pocket screws. Mainly the dominoes are just used for fit up and to get everything somewhat attached, and then I'm going to use pocket screws to clamp everything down again. I'm not going to glue it. I'm not going to glue anything when I put this thing together because I want to be able to take it apart in the event that, you know, we move houses or it doesn't fit through the door, which it should, but I don't want to permanently attach any of these pieces. So I'm going to try to get the camera angle the best I can to show you guys how I'm going to attach the two sides, the headboard and the footboard. So here we go. Okay, so here's just a quick walk around of the dry fit bed. So I have not attached the pocket screws yet. I will do that, you know, after I paint it and we get this thing installed in my little girl's room. But this is basically it. Now I got to install a couple of rails along both sides for the box spring to sit on, and then put a couple of support pieces. But I'll do that all inside her room. I'm not going to mess with doing that right now, but overall, I'm pretty happy with the progress of this thing. So there you go, guys. Turning out pretty good, I believe. I think she'll be happy with it. She's peeked her head out here a couple of times to check on the progress, so she'll be ready for this thing to get in her room. Okay, everyone, that is it for part 2. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope I didn't go too fast, but again, I'm trying to kind of speed up some of these videos and eliminate some of the talking, which is what I'm doing right now. But part 2's over. Part 3, we're gonna go get it set out in the driveway, and I'm gonna spray this thing whatever color the wife picks out, because she's the boss with that. But before that happens, I'm just gonna again go over this one more time with a sanding sponge, get all the corners ready for paint, get all the fuzz taken off, because as soon as you paint it, all the imperfections just magnify. So I'm gonna take my time and go over it really good with a sanding sponge, and then I'm gonna caulk all along the inside of all these little window boxes. Put a little bead of caulk too, because once you paint it, it's just gonna be a black line. You know what I mean? So I wanna get that caulk so it all looks complete. So anyway, guys, I hope you enjoyed that build, and look forward to part 3, and hope to see you there. Thanks.